right, we are live. Super excited. Paulina should be hopping in here in just a minute and she will join us. All right. Hey, Ann. There's Paulina. She's coming on in. I'm seeing, adding, connecting, and there she is.
Hey.
Awesome.
Hello.
Cool, cool, cool. So exciting.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. You're doing
Excellent.
great. You can hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Excellent. So cool. So we are Facebook living this evening
Yes. Why?
because we are short minutes away from the official launch of the Kickstarter for Bearing Gifts. Yay!
Oh
So
my
we're
gosh.
about 9 minutes out from our official launch window. I've got the project up right here, and it's got a little button, and it says "Launch Now," and I'm like, so a little excited, a little nervous, but that's okay. It'll be fun. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I know. It's exciting. It's so
It is exciting.
thrilling. What is this Kickstarter that you're doing, Steve?
So yes, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform, for those of you who don't know, where creatives do projects, and cool people come on and back them, and if enough people back them, they get to be reality. And so
Dreams happen.
That's really what we're hoping for, is that's gonna be what happens here, is that enough of you all will be excited about the project to want to back it and support it and help bring it to life and bring it into the world. The project itself is it's called Bearing Gifts. It's what we're calling a Christmas adventure for all ages, because it's a story about an unlikely hero called Astor, who is a young camel who is...
Camels are the best.
Camels are the best. Paulina, I wrote the story, but Paulina likes camels more than I do. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So Astor is a young camel who's born prematurely and is a little weaker and smaller than his brethren, and yet he's the one who's chosen by the wise men to bear the gifts for the Christ child and to help them make their way to Bethlehem. And so it's a story about all of his trials and adventures and challenges as
journey.
As he makes his way with the three wise men to Bethlehem. So it's super. I really like it because it sort of the things that really brought it to life for me when I was thinking about creating the story in the first place. Two things really. One was the nativity set that we had as when I was growing up. It was, it had the whole thing. It had the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph and the angel, but my most interesting part for me was the three wise men on their camels bringing these gifts, because they were so mysterious looking and interesting. And
definitely.
So that's certainly one inspiration, particularly because it was like, why are they carrying these? Did they carry them in their hands the whole way?
Don't their hands get tired?
A little wrong to me. Yeah. Oh, my arms are so tired. I'm carrying this, this box of gold with me. And so that was kind of where what the question was, is, well, wouldn't they have had another camel to do this? And ta-da!
Very logical.
There kind of came the story. And the other inspiration was really was really the Rankin Bass company that did most of them, but all the fun TV specials that they did around the holidays.
Oh,
Frosty the
right.
Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Little Drummer Boy, all of those kinds of, just really, family-oriented,
Hmm.
heartwarming kind of stories that, that we looked forward to when I was growing up.
And you get
And
to carry that with you through your life too. Like
yeah,
you were small when you were watching those.
yeah, oh, definitely. But I obviously remember them very well, and so my hope is that the story kind of conveys some of that same warmth and feeling that those
Hmm.
others did. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And then there came Paulina, and
Yes.
so my Paulina and I have been friends for a number of years. The fun thing about it, though, is that we live in, probably how many 1,500 miles maybe
We have
away.
to
She's
we have to check.
Yeah, we'll have to measure it because I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and she's in Toronto. So we don't see each other in person very
Mm-mm.
often, mostly like this. Um, but Paulina was posting a number. I think you were doing an Inktober a couple of
Yeah.
years ago, and we're posting your images, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
there were several of them that were just had that feeling for me, and
Hmm.
so reached out to you and said, hey, I have this idea for a project. Are you down to do some illustration?
Hmm.
And you said,
Yes. Well, I was like, what is this? Can I read the book or the story? And you sent it my way, and my heart melted because I was also. The story also has a little bit of like a backstory of a mother's love. And I am a new mom to a 1.5-year-old son, crazy little guy that's running around somewhere in the first floor with my mom. And when I read the book, I just wanted to share this story with him because of Astor's journey and what he goes through. And I want the warmth of this story in the book, I wanted to contribute to it. And I love camels. So it was
yay,
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, I was excited to illustrate the character. Actually, when you reached out to me on the Inktober challenge, I was doing a lot of drawings inspired by my childhood. By my childhood. So, and yeah, I I was glad that you kind of connected with that and felt the warmth. So I was like, this is meant to be.
Yeah, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. Super cool.
I
We
know.
got we are about 2 minutes away from our official launch, so I'm watching the clock here to
Hmm.
make sure I can click the button right at 7 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm in the
So how
Central
would this
Time Zone.
work, Steve? So it's not Christmas now, it's July, it's June. So
Yes.
what the heck?
Well, they do talk about Christmas in July, um, so it's kind of like
Thank
that. But
you.
part of it is just giving us enough window to make sure that we can get all the parts done and all the printing done and all the shipping done
For
in time
Christmas.
to get books into people's hands in November, so you have time to ship them off to whomever,
Yeah.
um,
That's why,
via Christmas, by Christmas.
exactly. That's why if you want to share some sort of unique gift and you have youngsters in your life that you want to encourage and or even adults that you want to share like a warm story with.
Definitely,
This would be
definitely.
perfect.
We think
Does it?
so.
Yeah.
Bias that we are, yeah.
Yeah. And if there's any questions you can ask away. Oh my God, there's a minute left.
I know. I'm watching the clock now. I'm like my fingers hovering over the mouse button to click the
Hmm.
little launch now button. We are just like right
I'm gonna
there.
hover some illustration piece
There you
here
go.
that is work in progress, but I have a bunch of like I have a whole folder of stuff from sketches to more inked stuff. I know I'm not gonna show you all the juicy stuff, all the juicy bits, but
It's time.
it's time!
Drum roll, it says. That's so exciting.
Woo! Some sketches of Astor. our small little camel, who's the main character. Look at him. We're live!
Yay, we are live.
Woo!
So the project is Bearing Gifts, and I will post a link to the campaign in the comments. Not sure quite how to do this on my lovely little cell phone here, so I'll handle that afterwards. But make sure that you guys get to see it. But yes,
just check your profile.
There. Yes, indeed. But Bearing Gifts is the name of the book.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Written by Steve, and I'm illustrating. Hooray!
Yes. Yay. So.
Cool. I just got the email that it's officially live.
Oh, did you? Yay! That's exciting.
It's my first time being a Kickstarter. That's actually, being
collaborator,
partner, I guess, officially.
That's exciting.
Partner in crime. Okay. We still have lots of work to do, though.
Yes, indeed. There's more work to be done for sure. Campaigns like this, just at the beginning of that process, but super excited.
Yes.
So I want to see if we can ask some questions. Since my dear friend was so kind to send a few our way so that we could answer some for folks.
Shout out to friend.
Yes, my friend James.
Awesome, James.
James Michael Taylor.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
what size is this book going to be?
So the plan right now is for this to be, a square sort of. I don't know if it's standard picture book because some picture books are much bigger. So a little smaller, probably 7.5 or probably 8.5 by 8.5 is probably the size that we'll finally land on, and that will allow us both to do the print run for the Kickstarter as well as eventually do a print on demand kind of setup for future as well. And so kind of that's the structure that we're planning on. So Paulina's working on the illustrations to illustrate each of the chapters in the book as well as the cover.
How long is the read?
It's pretty fast. I would say it's the nice thing about it is I think there are 9 chapters total in the book, and so it's something that you could break up into small snippets. So it's if your kids are pestering you to oh please read me before we go to sleep kind of thing, you could read one chapter and it's maybe just a couple of minutes, and that would be enough, and you can get them to go to sleep then, or you could definitely read it all in one sitting. It might be 20 minutes or so, I would say. Yeah. Something like that.
And it's probably good I think from like ages, any age really, starting and up. It's not focused for like a completely small kids necessarily because it has more text, but. Yeah.
It's definitely a little more text intensive than a regular picture book would be, but it's I don't think that there's anything in it that would prevent a younger reader from reading through it themselves,
flipping through, enjoying it.
Exactly, and certainly they'll get a kick out of the evocative art if nothing else, so they get a chance to flip through and see the pictures
and ask you questions. Mom, read this.
Yeah, definitely. Cool questions. Let's see. I'm going to pick one for Polina to answer.
Go for it.
So I like this one. What are some of the feelings and lessons kids and readers will get from this book? So I'd love your perspective on that one.
Yes, definitely. I think that it teaches everyone to realize that in a moment of struggle, or when you feel small, and when you're going through a challenge, you can find it within you to go, past those challenges and follow your journey and, find your way through tougher times or through the times when you feel like you're just, you can't, you can't handle everything. I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, I think that's my answer. Yeah. It's so sweet and warm and encouraging.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
How long ago did you write this book, Steve? Or
Oh gosh, that was a. We were talking about this earlier because I was
mm-hmm.
sitting there racking my brain trying to remember how long it's kind of been percolating. I mean, I've had the idea for years and years,
There's a question too after you answer this.
and I would say, gosh, probably it wasn't terribly long that I kind of put the finishing touches on the kind of the first draft of it. Bef- it wasn't too long after that I reached out to you to talk about potentially illustrating it. I had done an early draft of it, and it was insubstantially this kind of form that it is now. We've made some changes over time and are continuing to kind of refine the language and so on. But it's been probably 3 or so years, kind of
Mm-hmm.
slowly growing toward this point. So it's like the home stretch, I think, now in terms of getting all the parts together. I know your work is in the
Yeah.
midst right now, whereas in terms of the language, the work is primarily
Mm-hmm.
done. So
Yeah.
um,
There's a
yeah,
question for us, Steve. I'm gonna
cool.
read.
Yeah, go ahead.
Paolo asks, Polina, did you design the camel with any particular person in mind? Or example, what if you were to cast an actor? Um, who would you and Steve cast for the animated film version? So, do you want to?
Interesting. Well, and I will say one of the things that we talked about, because we didn't specifically talk about an actor, but one of the things that we talked about in terms of Astor's personality, and that kind of became a sort of a hallmark of his personality, is his hair. So
Yeah.
he's got this kind of tuft of hair, and I always think of it as kind of the teenager who wakes up with bedhead, and some days his hair is just flat, and other days his hair is just kind of going off into a direction, and he just can't seem to do anything with it. And that kind of grew into I think in a lot of Paulina's illustrations of Astor now, his hair is a part of his personality and conveys a lot of what's going on with him. And so think of a young teenage actor who has
Yeah, I'm just
hair
trying to
going on.
think of
I'm,
somebody.
I'm sitting there thinking, all I can think of is the guy Steve, the character Steve from Stranger Things, who has a big '80s hair thing going on,
Oh,
but his is always kind of coiffed, so I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best.
also, I don't know why I like Harry Potter comes to mind because of the bed head
He
too.
has, yep, yep.
I,
But I don't know, otherwise if there was
but
an,
maybe
an,
there
ins-
should be now.
yeah, an inspiration there, because we certainly need to think about voice actors for the animated version.
Of course.
Yep. So
I don't know
very.
many voice actors.
I don't know. I don't either. We'll just have to figure it out
Good question though.
when it comes to that. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Paula. I'm typing in the.
Any the link?
Yep. Typing in the link for folks. And you all have to tell me if it's working? All right. So the only thing that we're not sure of is now that the Kickstarter is live, if you're going to have to log in first, because it might require you to sign up for Kickstarter.
Make an account on Kickstarter.
Yeah, to make an account on Kickstarter, which is free to do. No cost to do that. But signing up first in order to access the thing. Hey, Gary says it works. Thank you,
Gary says it works. Hey, Elena joined us.
Fabulous.
Yes, so we're talking about a book that we're creating, and it's going to be it's a live Kickstarter now. Officially,
live on Kickstarter
just went
now.
live.
Yeah,
10 minutes ago. And
yes, indeed.
A children's book called Bearing Gifts, written by Steve and illustrated by me. And it's, yeah, if all goes well, it's going to be a month. It's going to be on Kickstarter for a month, starting today. And the last day is going to be July.
Let's check and see.
We'll let everyone know.
Funds.
You'll hear from us.
July 23rd. Tuesday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time is when the campaign ends. So full 30 days. Yep.
Yeah. And once that wraps up, if it all goes well, it's going to be ready for Christmas.
Yes.
For gifting season. How many illustrations are planned? 1 per chapter or more? So yes, we have 1 per chapter, and we have 10 illustrations planned, or maybe 11.
So
as well as cover art.
Exactly. So a few extras in there. 1 to kind of close out the book, but basically 1 per chapter. Again, keeping in mind that these are pretty small chapters, just a few pages each, and so.
And it's going to be
hopefully a nice mix of text and art.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to have like a feel to it, a bit of a nostalgic feel to it. At first, we were kind of dabbling with potentially having just black and white images to have it feel, more something. One of the, we all miss those books that were black and white with text. But
right,
I think also
images.
Now we've changed our mind to go towards color.
We're still debating that.
Yeah.
So hopefully you all can help us achieve that as a part of the Kickstarter as well. That would be awesome. That would be awesome to make it.
Yeah.
A full color thing.
I think it would definitely not take away from the experience of the book. It would only add to it, like you've said. Yeah, and it's a small, not a big book. It's something that you can easily take with you, and it just feels special and personal.
Yeah,
that's the plan. Okay.
Yes, indeed. Any other questions from our live folks?
Yeah. I think I don't see any more questions.
All right. Any other burning questions from the list that you can't wait to answer? Or that you think we should answer?
Just gonna see.
I'm looking as well.
I think we've covered most of it.
I think so too. Yeah. So
okay.
Thanks very much for showing up to be live with us so that we could press the button and make the launch an official thing. We really appreciate it, and hope you will head over to the Bearing Gifts link that's there in the comments and check out the campaign and see if it's something that resonates with you and that you'd be interested in supporting.
And if there's any other questions that come up, you can always message us.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Very cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Paulina.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone.